Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back for another recap of Welcome to Plathville. This is season 5, episode 5. Painting is such sweet sorrow. So we begin the episode in Tampa, and the painting that is occurring is this tattoo because we see Mariah and her father at this tattoo shop for Mariah to get her fourth tattoo. The first one that she has, she said, is on her wrist, and it says Black Heart, and it has like 3 red lines underneath the black with the heart being written in black underneath it. She also has what she tells us is a red and black rose on her hip, and she has some waves behind her ear. And now she's going to get the word rebel written hugely across her arm right here. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but it's not my skin, it's hers. There are people who probably don't think my tattoos are nice, but it's meaningful to her. She says this tattoo is symbolic because she's rebelling against the devil and basically anything that does not bring her peace. Barry says 10 years ago, he would never even step foot into this tattoo shop, but he's been working on showing up for his kids. As I was listening to him say that, I was like, there's no way. My parents never would. They don't think that tattoos should be a thing. And I couldn't see them supporting me in that way. But I don't feel like people should be judged just because they don't feel comfortable with something. Some people don't like needles. So you just never know people's reasoning. Um, the entire thing seems to fascinate Barry as he's asking silly questions like, does it tickle? And wondering if anybody's ever got a tattoo on their nose. And saying things like, this is the only way that I'll let a man hurt my daughter. It's super cringe, but it means something to Mariah. It is a bonding moment for them. So after it's done, she's looking at the tattoo in the mirror and she's so excited about it. And she says for her, being a rebel is about not blindly following. And I hope that she really truly is no longer going to blindly follow people, because I think that she did a lot of that, even in the way that she spoke up for her mother about a situation that she seems to know nothing about when it came to the credit cards and Ethan. So next we see, she also says that her next tattoo will be forgiveness. And yes, she is well aware that at some point she's going to need to forgive Ethan and Olivia. So Micah is back in California and he's connecting with old friends and new friends. He wants them to kind of like all meet up. So they head to what looks like, a bar, and we meet Allie and Sydney. Sydney is a young lady that he met on a dating app, and Allie is someone that he met somewhere else. We find out that Allie identifies her words as queer, but she finds herself being interested and attracted to Micah. Shout out to all the dating apps and shout out to people being open minded. So both of the ladies want Micah. I personally feel like Micah is gorgeous, but as time goes on, I don't see what the draw is there. And watching Micah over many seasons, I feel like a lot of what he shows us with women are surface level things. So I'm wondering if they have deeper conversations off camera. Not only that, how many girls have we seen him go out with, talk about whatever at this point? Like, he's just having a good time. So, um, he's forming connections with both of the ladies, and the guys talk about how at one point he's more in tune with one lady, then he goes to the other, and then he tries to pull them into the triangle. We see them take shots. The guys think that overall the person who will get him, even though he seems really attracted more to one than the other, they think it will be Allie, because Allie is a challenge and Micah loves a challenge. Micah tells us when he's asked what his type is, he says that he just wants something hot. Micah, I hope that you realize that at some point looks will fade. We hear yet again about how he wants marriage and how he's scared of it, especially seeing how things have turned out with like his parents and with his brother. He's basically trying to figure it all out, but he's going to have a grand time dating women while he does it. So let's get to Kim and Barry. Kim and Barry decide to have a family meeting at what I'm believing is the request of Kim. So she claims that she does not come over to the house as often. It's sometimes like once a week, but she wants to check in, see how things are going, as well as see how the kids are feeling. She also wants them to solidify how they'll be handling the kids. I just want to know if Kim was worried about that when she, bought the plane without Barry. Like, were you worrying about how you're doing things with the kids when you made decisions without Barry's input? I just feel like the kids should be the top priority, but we're seeing that in some instances they're not. So we find out that they've decided to sell their current home and that Barry and the kids are going to move into one of their rental properties, that's like five, I think he said 5 blocks away. This is an issue for Kim, the whole house thing, because the rentals are her primary source of income. And if they're going to be staying in one of the rentals, she's going to need help in other ways. So they're going to sell the house that Barry is currently in with the kids to help her get additional income, because Barry's going to be taking away some of the income. I just feel like Kim needs to get a job. I know that this still hasn't happened yet, but I wonder like what the real thought on that was, because you're getting money from the show. How are you all dividing that money? How is it that you're so reliant at this time, based on what you're saying, on the income from the rentals? Is this you just giving us a storyline, or is this really a thing? Y'all tell me what you think down below. I personally feel like when I was first watching this, that they made a decision once again without taking into account how this would affect the younger kids. But Barry clears it up, because Barry was like, look, there's going to be a time of transition, but he doesn't feel like it's going to be too bad, that the move won't be too difficult, because they are going to be moving 5 blocks from where they are now. He also lets us know that he told the kids about this several months ago, that way they could prepare for it. So that kind of made me feel glad. Like I was like, okay, great. It's not that you're just springing this upon them now. They did get an opportunity to know, like, this is in the works. I think that it is very important that you prepare them for these things, given that you've kind of pulled the rug up from under them and you did it on TV. So Lydia is most concerned about her little sisters. So Amber is asked by Kim, no, Amber's asked how she feels, and she says she's trying to get used to it. Kim tells us that she's sad. It's sad seeing them hurt. She then asks Amber, is it getting any better? And Amber says, I'm getting used to it, but I'm still trying to process it all. I don't think that these kids are ever really being completely honest about how they're feeling, because they've never been taught how to deal with these things. I think that the smart thing to have done would have been to put them in some type of therapy so that they can kind of talk some of this out. I would hope that TLC did that with them off camera, but I don't know. So at this point, Amber says that she tells us that she misses having both of them at the same time, because now she wants to spend time with both parents and she has to kind of divide herself. She says she's okay with the whole concept of them being at, a new house, because the memories that they currently have and the one that they're in is of her and her mom. And Kim tries to once again, well, her mom and her dad being together. Kim tries to bring it back once again to herself, saying how she's trying to sort out her life. But Kim, we don't care. We don't care about what it is that you're doing. As a child of divorce, in my opinion, for me and the way that the situation happened, I did not like not living with both of my parents. It was hard enough as it was for me to not have my dad when he went out on deployment, but it was even harder once he came back from deployment, finding myself wanting to be up under him and not being able to, because I was primarily with my mom. I hated not having both of my parents there. And I'm grown. I'm grown. And even the other day, well, not the other day, a few months ago, when my son had graduated back in June, I felt like a little kid watching my parents as they reunited, hugging each other and thanking one another for, the part that they played in my life. It was just I might do a story time about it. It was a very, very heartwarming moment, because I hadn't seen my parents together in, I want to say it's been like 20 years. Like, my father will ask about my mom will ask about my father, but I haven't seen them together in that capacity for a long time. And as a kid whose parents divorced in a healthy way, it was very heartwarming for me to see that. And I'd imagine that this may be difficult for the parents as well. I just don't feel as badly for Kimberly in the situation. I know it's horrible to say, however, I don't. And it might be part of me feels like, why should I feel bad for Kim? Kim wanted this, but it doesn't even have to do with her wanting it because I feel like both parties should be happy. I think my struggle is the way that she did it. That's always going to be a problem for me because I don't think that she did this with her kids in mind. I think that Kim was completely selfish and that she could have handled it in a better way. So Mariah has her sisters over for a sleepover. We find out that they normally come to Tampa like twice a month to see Mariah. Lydia and Mariah thought that this would be a good idea and a good way for the younger kids to decompress with everything that's going on with the family and their parents. So we see Mariah as she's in the kitchen and she's making coffee and she's struggling to make cinnamon rolls. It's clear to me this isn't something that she's made before, but she's trying to, do this for her sisters. She said that or were reminded that she didn't cook and clean at home. So the fact that she's doing this and she's putting forth this much effort, the girls are just enjoying it. Like they're enjoying watching her, even her as she struggles. Amber says, like at this point, with the way that Mariah was growing up, she's surprised that the apartment is still standing. Amber is a beauty. Amber is a pretty girl. So she shows off her rebel tattoo to them, and we find out that she got some more things along with it because she says she got crosses and some other additions, and she recommends that her sisters get one if they want to, but just remember that it lasts forever. So make sure that you think it through. I think that it's kind of early for you to be having that conversation with what I think at the time they were little, so like 9 and what 12 or something like that. I don't remember their ages, but they're young girls. The last thing that should be on their mind, in my opinion, is tattoos. But this is Mariah, so it is it is what it is. I personally would encourage them to get something that doesn't look like you were playing etching what is it, etch and sketch? Because I don't know. Mariah has a lot of tattoos. Some of them I don't really find that appealing, but that's like I said earlier, people may find mine to be ugly. I don't know. I don't like them. Some of her older one, like I think she has flowers or something up here. That doesn't look as bad. But anyways, so we see the ladies. Now I'm gonna want to go look up her tattoos. Oh, this is what happens. Okay. So we see the ladies get dressed up and they head out to a fancy dinner on Mariah. They talk about how much everyone is growing up, and Mariah knows that this divorce is a lot. So she tells her sisters that, look, I want to be there for, you guys. Lydia feels like at this point, it's nice that they can lean on Mariah as well, because for a long time Lydia took on the role as big sister. Mariah was out the house and at some point wasn't even communicating with them, with the parents. So they kind of catch up. We find out that Lydia's newest job is that she's working at a jewelry store. She did say that she got to see Ethan before he left. She said goodbye to him the other day and they did have a moment, but she mentions that it was a vulnerable moment and they'll talk about it when the time is right. They'll share it at another time. So I'm assuming that it was something deep and off camera. As a reminder, Mariah blocked Ethan because she got tired of him yelling at her and, in my opinion, telling her to pay her bills. She claims she didn't know what else to do because he wouldn't even let her get a word in other than block him. In seeing what we've seen play out in season 7, because you guys know I haven't even finished watching season 5. Like I'm doing this in real time. And I definitely only saw like a one episode of season 6. But in seeing what we've been seeing play out with Ethan, I think that it's clear that Ethan is a lot more hostile than we even realize. I do not feel like Mariah is completely innocent in this situation, but I can see him being belligerent and fussing and yelling at her. If you're throwing tantrums at your sister's um engagement, and you're burning lighting fires and peeling off in your car and doing all the different things that we saw him do, and throwing chairs and making noise and flinging rocks off the, like, I can only imagine what you did back then on the phone yelling at your sister. So she, as well as Lydia, hope at some point that they can kind of work this out, but they know it's not going to be right now. So let's get to Ethan and Olivia. Ethan and Olivia are getting ready to move to I always say it wrong. Minneapolis. Y'all, the tongue ties. And Olivia is already missing Tampa. She's not ready for the cold. She doesn't really like it. While Ethan is happy that he's going to be living closer to his father's side of the family, he says that they like Olivia, and his grandparents, are welcoming to her. Ethan lets us know that he didn't say goodbye to any of his family. I think that was before they filmed that, before him and Lydia had a conversation, because the way Lydia was talking when it was like it was a recent conversation. He said that they never addressed the social media posts, and he didn't want to deal with it. He says he's still blocked by Mariah, and at this point he knows that the only way that he'll be able to have contact with her is if he were to track her down, and he's not about to do all that. So we then see Ethan and Olivia having their last party before they leave. Apparently they did this a lot, because Olivia lets us know that their house felt like the community home, because with all of them living in there, they all had different friends that would come and go and spend the night and things of that nature. And I was hearing her and I was like, I didn't even think that Ethan had made a lot of friends out of there. So, maybe they just didn't want to be on camera, but this time saying goodbye, they were there. I know that when they had Micah's birthday party, that there were friends that had came there, but the way that they're talking is like this is something that they did often. So they hope that they have friends visit them in Minnesota at some point. We find out that Nathan is going to be staying in Tampa. We see them pack up. Ethan says that there was good and bad times living with Nathan and Mariah. But overall, when he looks back at everything, those good times definitely outweighed the bad ones. And the both of them hope that they create a community of friends and family out there as well. And that's basically the gist of this episode. I want to look at these tattoos. Yeah, y'all bear with me, because the things that I think to do. Okay, yeah, let's do it right now, because here I am. Okay, let me share my screen. Y'all gonna see why I don't really often do this. Share screen. Yeah. Ooh, good. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see this? Let me look and see. No, y'all can't. I'm not sharing the screen. Okay. Now y'all can see. This is I didn't mean to. Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about, the black heart one, right? With the yeah, with the three. It looks like scratch marks to me. Here's the problem. I just feel like when looking at people's tattoos, unless you're them and you realize what's going on with them, you wouldn't really know. Okay, so here's the rebel. You can see the rebel in there. Who's that man? I don't know who that man is. Let me not be putting up people. That's not the one I was talking about. Where's the I typed in Olivia's rebel tattoo. Can I just have that? Okay, you can see it here. I'm going on all types of stuff. Okay. Yeah, there's her rebel tattoo. Yeah. I guess it was supposed to have a melting effect at the bottom of it. I'm not really a fan, but she likes it. But this is what I was talking about when I said that she has the ones at the top too that like are roses or whatever that I think are pretty. Oh, wow. I didn't know she had all this too. Okay. See, I knew she had these roses things. She got a lot of stuff on her. Here's the thing, she's a pretty girl. Hopefully she did like she said, and she made this, something that she really, really thought about before she did it. But that's all I got, y'all. Really wasn't much to report on this. Y'all let me know your thoughts of this episode. Like the video as it helps the channel. Until next time, peace.